sun rises slowly over the small, isolated desert town of Perfection, Nevada, where life moves at a slow pace and nothing much ever seems to happen. As the heat begins to settle over the dusty landscape, two handymen, Valentine and Earl, start their day with the same routine they have followed for years, fixing odd jobs for the handful of residents scattered across the valley, while quietly growing tired of the monotony that defines their existence. And although they talk about leaving town for a better life, neither of them has ever truly made the effort to escape. They make a living pumping septic tanks, stringing barbed wire, and doing all the work no one else wants to do. They sleep in a beat-up truck, their alarm clock is the blazing sun, and they play rock, paper, scissors to decide who has to make breakfast. Meanwhile, Rhonda, a smart seismologist student, is out in the desert studying earthquake activity. Except these aren't normal quakes. She's picking up these weird, fast-moving underground signals heading straight towards town. Earl and Valentine are finally on their way to the nearest town of Bixby, but soon see a young woman walking towards them.
You will have long blonde hair, big green eyes, world-class breasts, ass that won't quit, and legs that go all the way up.
But his hopes are crushed as soon as she comes near their truck. She asks about nearby drillings or construction work, but the duo deny any knowledge of such construction. They continue their journey and head to Walter's General Store. There, they buy themselves some beer and have a discussion with other townsfolks, Bert and his wife, Heather. They soon get a new job of cleaning the septic tank of young Melvin's home, and a distasteful incident happens.
How close?
It finally pushes them to the edge, and the duo pack their belongings and board their truck to leave town. Nancy, a single mother, tries to hire them to make a pottery kiln, but the duo are fed up with these boring jobs. They drive ahead, but soon spot a man named Edgar, sitting motionless on an electric tower. They call him, but upon getting no response, Valentine climbs up, only to find him dead. They take him to the town's Dr. Jim, only to learn that he died of dehydration. On the other hand, a farmer named Fred is working on his land when his sheep sense something odd lurking around. Earl and Valentine carry on their journey and soon come across Fred's house. They take a stop, intending to check up on him, but to their horror, discover his lifeless body. The scene shifts to workers working on repairing roads, and just then something gets stuck on their drill. Valentine and Earl head to Walter's shop and warn everyone about the recent deaths, but find out that the phones have stopped working. They rush to Bixby to call the cops, but find the road blocked due to the previous incident. Earl finds a bloodied helmet of a worker lying on the ground, making them so afraid that they try to flee. But their van gets stuck without any visible reason.
You hung up, I tell you! You're gonna bring it much!
But the reason becomes clear as soon as they reach Walter's store. They find something wrapped around their truck's rear axle, the severed body of an odorous creature the general size and shape of a python, only a lot more vicious looking. Bert thinks it would take more than just one of those creatures to kill Fred and his entire flock of sheep.
Whatever it is, just one of these could eat up Fred and his whole flock of sheep.
So you think there are more of them out there?
That night, Jim and his wife Megan are camping in the open. Out of the blue, they find that their generator is missing. The couple investigate, but all of a sudden get attacked by the creature living underground. Megan hides inside the car, but the creature is smart and drags the entire car down the ground. Next morning, all the townspeople gather at Walter's shop and decide on a way out of this problem. The town of Perfection is surrounded by mountains and cliffs on three sides, and the only way out was blocked due to the fallen rocks when the creature attacked the workers. Hence, Valentine and Earl plan to ride on horses to the nearest town, Bixby. During their ride, they take a stop at Jim's place to check if the couple had moved out of town, but find the place deserted, with music playing from under the ground. They remove the soil searching for the source of the music, only to find an entire car buried in the ground. This time, they ride like hell, but again get stopped. This time, the horses refuse to move forward, as if they can sense something dangerous nearby.
See anything, anywhere!
Sure enough, one of the horses gets attacked, and Valentine shoots the hideous creature. But it has little effect on the creature. They run as fast as they can with the creature hot on their trail, finally jumping into a concrete aqueduct that blocks their path. The creature rams headlong into the aqueduct's wall, accidentally killing itself.
Knocked itself cold.
Rhonda also arrives at the place and is horrified by the scene in front of her. But just then, the seismograph picks up another signal, and sure enough, another creature begins its hunt. The trio hurriedly climb some nearby rocks and are relieved to find out that the thing cannot climb. They spend the night on those rock boulders and try to escape at morning, but to their horror, find out that the creature is still waiting for them.
Doesn't he have a home to go to?
Rhonda comes up with a brilliant plan. She pole vaults to nearby rock boulders, and in this way, plans to reach her truck parked nearby. Earl and Valentine follow her lead, and the trio somehow manage to flee the spot. They reunite at Walter's. Walter decides to call the monsters Graboids.
Graboid! That's it, Graboid!
Jesus, Walter. We're gonna be sorry you don't give it a name.
Rhonda believes that, since Graboids can't move through rock, they should go west, where the old Jeep trail is at, because since that area is solid granite, it'll be safe. While Melvin is bouncing a basketball, when a Graboid pulls the ball underground, and the terrified boy screams. They all go outside, and find that Melvin has climbed up a light pole with a bleeding knee. A Graboid comes up from the ground, sending everyone scrambling.
Get inside! Get inside!
Rhonda reminds them not to make any noise or vibrations. But then Valentine hears Mindy bouncing around outside on her pogo stick. The Graboid starts moving toward Mindy, but Valentine runs as fast as his legs can go, grabs Mindy, and gets her to Nancy. The Graboid grabs the pogo stick and then spits it back out. Nancy and Mindy get to their house, while Valentine climbs onto the truck. Another Graboid starts approaching Rhonda and Earl. Earl gets to the door of Walter's store, but Rhonda's pant gets hung up on some barbed wire. Valentine gets off the truck and stabs the Graboid with a pickaxe, making it scream in pain. It knocks him down, but he gets back up and helps Rhonda. In order to get free, she has no choice but to take off her shoes and pants. The duo retreat back to the store with Earl, escaping the danger for now. Valentine puts some medicine on the cuts on Rhonda's legs and covers up the cuts with bandages. This impresses Rhonda, but she says nothing for now. Miguel hands her a pair of shoes and pants from the store, and she puts them on. All the people in the store discuss on how to flee to Bixby, but just then the refrigerator in the store kicks on, very noisily. They rush to try to turn it off so it won't attract any of the Graboids. Valentine quickly unplugs it, but a Graboid still manages to track them down and comes up through the store's wooden floor. It grabs Walter, and although everyone tries to rescue him, their effort goes in vain. The Graboid returns and wreaks havoc on the store. They escape to the roof, but the Graboid sends Rhonda through a window. Fortunately, she manages to climb a ladder up the nearby water tower. Taking some advice from Miguel, Melvin gets up on the roof of the small building that he was hiding in. Everyone is now hiding on the roof, but Bert and Heather, who have a massive collection of weapons in their basement, return to their home. Heather takes out her binoculars and sees that everyone is on the roofs. Curious about the situation, Bert tries to contact Walter via radio. Valentine answers and tries to say something, but his voice breaks due to poor connection. After some time, Valentine finally gets through, and Valentine warns the couple about the creature and asks them to climb on the roof. Heather puts the bullets in the tumble polishing machine. Unfortunately, the noise of it attracts the attention of one of the Graboids. Val, Earl, Miguel, and Rhonda see the Graboids' dust trail heading in the direction of Burt House. Sure enough, a Graboid bursts through the wall of their basement. The couple opens fire on the creature, but it has little effect on it. Burt then brings out his elephant gun and fires. This finally weakens the monster, and Burt fires a few more rounds to kill it for good. Burt and Heather head up to their roof, and are still in contact with the others via radio, and Valentine informs them that there are 2 more Graboids. This one proves to be smarter than the previous ones. It tries to sink the entire house to the ground, and digs relentlessly. Everyone is shocked at the intelligence of the creature. A Graboid knocks Nestor's trailer over, putting him on the ground, and he gets on a large tire that's lying flat on the ground, but the Graboid still drags Nestor under the ground and kills him.
That's no good. Come on, you gotta get higher. No way, man.
Rhonda says that there has to be a way to get to solid rock. Valentine thinks it would help if they had a helicopter or a tank. That gives Earl an idea. Earl believes that, since the loader weighs more than 30 tons, the Graboids can't lift it. Earl says that they can attach an old metal truck trailer to the back of it and get everyone in it. But the loader is a few meters away from the store. Miguel comes up with the idea of using Walter's small tractor, which is a 4-wheeler toy car, to distract the Graboids long enough for someone to get to the loader. Miguel starts up the tractor and sends it away from the store. Earl wants to be the one to run for the loader because he can drive it better than anyone else, but Valentine is the faster runner. He quickly elbows Earl out of his way and takes off running. The tractor distracts the Graboids until it turns on its side and can't go any farther. The Graboids start chasing Val, and Rhonda yells for him to stop and stay still so they can't find him.
Val, stop! They're coming! Be quiet! Don't move!
One of them pops its tentacles out of the ground. Rhonda comes up with an idea. She kicks the water tower's pipe and gets water pouring on the ground, which distracts the Graboids long enough for Valentine to get to the loader and attach the metal trailer to the back of it. He drives the loader over to the water tower, and Rhonda jumps into the bucket of the loader before getting in the cab with him. Meanwhile, on the roof of his house, Burt and Heather are making some homemade explosives. After everyone else is picked up, Earl drives the loader to Burt's house. They drop some supplies into the trailer and then jump in. They'll now have to drive 9 miles to get to the Jeep trail. They set out for the safety of the Jeep trail, but Graboids are quick learners when it comes to stalking their prey. On their way, they see dust clouds, indicating that the Graboids are nearby. And then the loader falls bucket first into a pit, throwing Burt off the loader.
Wait, look out!
Burt, Valentine, Rhonda, and Earl get in the trailer with the others. A stunned Valentine realizes that the Graboids were smart enough to dig a trap. The Graboids attack the trailer, so Valentine and Earl open fire on them. Earl lights up one of his explosives and throws it at the Graboids. The explosion scares them for a few moments, but the 2 Graboids quickly return, prompting the group to open fire on the Graboids again. Valentine sees an isolated cluster of boulders, and Rhonda gets an idea. Burt will throw one of his explosives in the direction of the boulders to drive the Graboids away, long enough for everyone to get to the boulders. Melvin has doubts about the plan, so Burt hands him a gun in order to give him enough courage to go with the plan. Earl's explosives drives the Graboids away, and they all start running for the boulders. The group finally reaches to the rock boulders, and Rhonda wonders if they could use Burt's explosives to help them make it to the Jeep trail. But Valentine says they would need 50 of Burt's explosives to do it, and Burt didn't make that many of them. The group realizes that they're trapped on the boulders.
Can we make it to the mountains? Use Bert's explosives.
No way. We need 50 of those bombs.
That's it. We're not getting off this rock.
Burt starts blaming Valentine and Earl, saying that they could have made a stand against the Graboids at Burt's house. Earl tells Burt that they wouldn't have been able to. He calls Valentine and Earl a couple of screw-ups, and Valentine tells him to back off. A while later, they're still trapped on the boulders. Burt tells Heather that if it comes to starvation, he'll light up one of his explosives, walk off the boulders, and let one of the Graboids take him out. That actually gives Earl an idea, tricking the Graboids into swallowing an explosive.
Now, that's not a bad idea.
No, it gives me an idea. Going fishing like.
They start throwing small rocks onto the ground to attract the graboids. They have an explosive tied to the end of a rope. One of the graboids is soon attracted to the spot. The explosive is lit, and Earl uses the rope to throw the explosive out to the spot, and then starts slowly pulling it in as if he's fishing. As expected, the graboid takes the explosive and blows up.
All right.
They lure the only remaining graboid into position. Rhonda lights the bomb's fuse, and Valentine throws it out to the spot. The graboid takes the bomb that he threw, but spits it back onto Bert's pile of remaining bombs, sending everyone scattering as the bombs explode.
Get back! Get back! Run!
Hurry, get up, come on!
Valentine, Rhonda, and Earl are left stranded several yards away from the boulders. They try to run back to the boulders, but the graboid rises up out of the ground. Heather tells everyone on the boulders to make some noise and distract it. It works. Valentine still has one last bomb left, and everyone tells him to use it, but he has an idea. Valentine starts running toward the edge of the cliff, with the graboid chasing him. Earl and Rhonda follow him. He breaks off part of the fuse, so it'll take less time for it to detonate. Rhonda lights the fuse, and he throws the bomb, and it explodes, but the creature survives. It charges at Valentine, but he jumps away at the last second, sending the graboid flying out through the cliff face, eventually leading to its demise. The group triumphantly returns to town. Valentine and Earl prepare to head out to Bixby, and they're talking about being on the cover page of National Geographic. Rhonda tells Valentine that there's going to be some major research about their discovery and goes to leave, but Valentine is attracted to her. Earl coaxes Valentine into asking Rhonda out, and he catches up to her before she gets to her truck. This is how the movie ends. If you like this recap, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.